Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A very good evening. I'm Dangku Susilawati Pengiran Haji Muhammad Sabri. Welcome to News at 10. The top stories tonight. Attention should be given to challenging that aspects require strong religious, academics and experience. There are no cases of diphtheria in the country due to the success of the national immunization program. The Sri Begawan Religious Teachers University College Kupu SB, which was established in 2007, has rapidly grown in line with the progress of religious higher education in the country. However, Kupu SB needs to give attention to the challenging aspect which requires religious academics who are greatly knowledgeable and experienced. The hope was voiced by Yang Berhormat Pihin Udana Khatib, Datuk Paduka Seri Setia Ustaz Haji Awang Badaruddin bin Pengarah Datuk Paduka Haji Osman, the Minister of Religious Affairs, at the opening of the 10 Kupu SB Ta'aruf or Orientation Week.
Penting bagi kita berusaha meningkat serta mengukuhkan lagi relevansi agama. Ini penting.
Yang Berhormat Pihin said that it is important for Kupu SB to enhance and strengthen religious relevance through the improvement of religious lessons and education from the religious and Arabic schools until university level, so that the country's religion will remain a meaningful guidance in life within a nation and race. Religious teaching and learning, Yang Berhormat Pihin added, is in the mainstream of the national education system, whereby it has effectively produced a Bruneian role model who upholds the modern Brunei nationalism desire and objective, as well as educated people with a high standard of living.
Menjadi pedoman yang bermakna dalam kehidupan berbangsa dan bernegara. Pendidikan dan pengajian agama itu memang sedia berada dalam mainstream atau arus perdana sistem pendidikan kebangsaan, yang mana ianya telah berjaya diharmonisasikan, diserasikan dengan baik dan dengan berkesan pada melahirkan modal insan Brunei yang mendukung hasrat serta matlamat kehidupan bernegara, Brunei yang moden, rakyatnya yang berpelajaran dengan taraf kehidupan yang tinggi.
The reading of the pledge by 228 Kupu SB undergraduates for the 2016-2017 session was led by Awang Muhammad Ali Wafiuddin bin Haji Osman, a religious teacher's higher diploma undergraduate. Also present were Datuk Paduka Awang Haji Abdul Mukti bin Haji Muhammad Daud, the Deputy Minister of Religious Affairs, and Awang Roslan bin Haji Taja'ah, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry. The Orientation Week will be filled with various programs in the institution's effort to provide awareness on the importance of understanding the philosophy, vision and mission of the Sri Begawan Religious Teachers University College. Meanwhile, another higher education institution saw the admission of more than 300 new students to take courses in the 2016-2017 session. For this year's intake, University Technology Brunei UTB has opened up an online registration during its Orientation Week, which also began today. Currently, UTB offers bachelor degrees, master's and PhD courses in engineering, business, computing and informatics. The Orientation Week, which will be held until this Thursday, provides co-curriculum activities as well as exhibitions, including a talk and motivation session. Awang Jofri bin Haji Bungsu, UTB's Dean of Student Affairs, said the new students are hoped to be committed and join the activity so that they can expand their leadership, entrepreneurial and religious skills.
Agar mereka akan mengetahui hal-hal ataupun lokasi-lokasi yang penting ataupun progression akademik dan berbagai-bagai lagi disiplin atau cara pembelajaran di Universiti Teknologi Brunei. Harapan kedua agar mereka terus committed dan disarankan untuk mengikuti aktiviti-aktiviti yang berjalan di Universiti Teknologi Brunei supaya mereka dapat.
Festive stage performances continue to be held to enliven His Majesty's 70th birthday celebration. Details next, but first the sixth step of His Majesty's Tita. Various events were organized to further enliven His Majesty the Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam's 70th birthday celebration. In the capital, Taman Jubli Perak Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah last night became the focal point for the public to watch a fireworks display. The fireworks display was an annual event organized by the Fireworks Display Committee. Among the spectators of the colourful display were Yang Amat Mulia Pengiran Sriwijaya, Pengiran Haji Ahmad, Pengiran Muhammad Yusof, Senior Assistant Yang di-Pertua of Adat Istiadat Negara, Awang Haji Muhammad Sunadi bin Haji Buntar, and Awang Haji Idris bin Haji Ali, the acting permanent secretaries at the Ministry of Home Affairs. The 15-minute colourful display of fireworks was a much-awaited event and a manifestation of the people's happiness in together glorifying the birthday of their beloved monarch. In the Temburong district, the festive stage in Bangar town, the main attraction was the Memukun competition organized by the Department of Radio Television Brunei. The Pewaris Budaya Mukun team from the Temburong district emerged as the champion, whilst the Lendang Merah team from the Brunei Muara district as well as Mawar Merah team from Limbang, Malaysia, placed second and third respectively. Prizes were presented by Yang Berhormat Awang Haji Sulaiman bin Haji Ahad, member of the Legislative Council. Such a competition aimed to introduce Memukun to the younger generation and preserve the culture as one of the country's heritage. The atmosphere around the celebratory stage at a parking area in front of the Royal Regalia building in the capital last night was further enlivened with the final of the Bintang Keputeraan 2016 singing competition. Present was Dayang Hajah Fatimah binti Haji Aji, the acting director of the Brunei Museums. 10 participants between the ages of 17 to 40 took part in the competition organized by the Celebratory Stage Committee in conjunction with His Majesty the Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam's 70th birthday anniversary celebration. Apart from enlivening the celebratory atmosphere, the competition aimed to scout new talents in singing arena. Stay tuned for more news after this break. Welcome back. Starting next month, residents in the capital who obtain healthcare services at the Bandar Sri Begawan Health Centre in Ong Sumping and the Kiarung Maternal and Child Health Centre will be relocated to the Pengiran Anak Putri Hajah Mutawakilah Hayatul Bolkiah Health Centre in Gadong. This is with the exception of residents in Kampung Subok, where they can obtain healthcare services at the Barakas Health Centre in Lambak Kanan National Housing Scheme. The matter was announced during a press conference on the relocation this afternoon. The press conference was chaired by Dr. Hazri bin Haji Kifli, the Deputy Permanent Secretary of Policy at the Ministry of Health. The integration initiative is in line with the Ministry's main strategy to enhance the quality of healthcare services through integration of services, facilities and existing infrastructure. The Pengiran Anak Putri Hajah Mutawakilah Hayatul Bolkiah Health Centre in Gadong provides a variety of healthcare services under one roof. To expedite the relocation process, the Bandar Seri Begawan Health Centre will be closed this Saturday from 12:15 in the afternoon. Meanwhile, the vaccination centre as well as the physiotherapist health section at the 4th and 5th floor of the condominium in Ong Sum Ping is still operational until the date for relocation has been set. For further information, visit the Ministry of Health's website at www.moh.gov.bn or call the Darussalam line at 123. Meanwhile, in a media conference on diphtheria disease, the Ministry of Health announces that currently there are no cases of diphtheria reported in Brunei. The statement was released following the reported diphtheria disease in a neighbouring country, which has caused death this year. The media conference chaired by Dr. Hazri explained that the ministry will continue to observe the current situation at the neighbouring state and will inform the public on the progress. Diphtheria disease were never reported in the country since the immunization program against diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis were introduced more than 20 years ago. Under the national immunization program, the current DTP vaccination practice is given to infants ages 2 months, 4 months and 6 months. Meanwhile, boosters were given to children ages 5 years. The DTP vaccination program will continue to be carried out in order to protect the residents and people with high immunization rate from diphtheria disease. Diphtheria disease is an infectious disease caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae germ with inflammation of the throat. Symptoms include fever, coughing and sore throat. The bacteria can spread and cause more serious symptoms such as difficulty in breathing, heart failure, paralysis, lung infection and can cause death. Children with poor immunization and antibody are of high risk to be infected.
So infants who are still too young, so neonates, right? But also children who have received
The Mitsubishi Public Affairs Committee, Asian Pacific Federation of UNESCO Clubs and Associations, National Federation of UNESCO Associations in Japan, NFUAJ, to the Agri Unit of the Co-Curriculum Education Department organized the Mitsubishi Asian Children's Iniki Fiesta for the year 2015-2016. Winners of the Grand Prix were invited to attend the prize presentation ceremony in Yokohama, Japan. President of Brunei International Airport to bid farewell to Awangku Muhammad Isa Daniel Mukri bin Pangeran Kamarul Zaman. Winner of the Grand Prix awardee was Awang Haji Aziz bin Haji Nayan, the Acting Director of Co-Curriculum Education at the Ministry of Education. The competition aimed to provide an opportunity to children around the world to understand the daily life of the Asia community through picture diaries. More news after these commercial breaks. A local man was brought before the Kuala Bait Magistrate Court for an offence under the Excise Order 2006. 58-year-old Omar Ali bin Haji Ibrahim was fined $2,500 or 10 weeks imprisonment for possessing 8 cartons of cigarettes of various brands during an inspection at the Sungai Tujuh Customs Control Post. The defendant settled the fine while all customs contraband were confiscated to be destroyed and the car returned. Several areas in Brunei Mora District will experience electrical disruption tomorrow. The affected areas are Simpang 66-19, Kampung Bengkurung and its surrounding areas. Disruption will begin from 9:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, and it is due to installation works for new electric pillar at the areas. Sport news coming up. The Easy Way team emerged as the champion of the Speed Sand Basketball Tournament Cup 2016, which was held in conjunction with His Majesty, the Sultan and Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam's birthday anniversary. The championship, sponsored by Journey Remittance with the cooperation of Speed Sand CIMB Malaysia Kuala Lumpur and the Brunei Darussalam Basketball Association, took place last night at the Batu Bersurat Basketball Court in Gadong. The Easy Way team beat Sunlit 89-72. Third place went to Jurama's team of the top-playing AZ Street Roll 104-82. Prizes were presented to the champions by Awang Haji Muhammad Sunadi bin Haji Buntar, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs. Meanwhile, Tengku Adeline Tengku Alauddin Shah, the co-director of Speed Sen, and Chang In Hong, the senior advisor of the Brunei Darussalam Basketball Association, presented prizes to the first and second runner-up respectively. The Takaful Brunei Futsal Super League 2 matches were held last night at the multi-purpose hall Hasna Bolkiah National Sports Complex in Barakas. In the first match, PBD BFT lost to Street FT by 4-5. Meanwhile, in the second match, Shah United defeated Pega Star by 1-5. The Malaysian Games, 18 Sukma Sarawak 2016. Brunei Darussalam's contingent has taken part in 4 more events, namely swimming, bicycle race, wushu and 10-pin bowling. 2 national swimmers were in action at the Sarawak Aquatic Centre Putrajaya Sports Complex in Kuching. In women's 200 meters backstroke category, Brunei's Ashley Chai Shien Ru qualified for the final after coming in 8th with a time of 2 minutes 41.94 seconds. In the men's 100 meters freestyle, another Brunei, Nur Haziq Samil, failed to qualify for the group final after recording a time of 58.08 seconds. In the women's 200 meters backstroke, Fina Brunei's Ashley Chai Shin Ru failed to win a medal after placing 8th. However, she succeeded in breaking the national and personal records. The gold and silver medals were won by Selangor's Nadia Reza and Rosalind Pang. Malacca's Goh Chia Tong won the bronze medal. In the bicycle race, the mission to win medals have not been realized. The country's cycling team participated in the team 140-kilometer race that took place on Sarawak's Jalan Samariang Bandar Baharu Highway. The Brunei Darussalam team wearing the yellow and black jerseys comprised of Abdul Muiz Yuzaini, Amiruddin Haji Muhammad Amir, Muhammad Faisal Firdaus Muhammad Nur Fadilah, Muhammad Abdul Hadi Serpini, Muhammad Al-Wa'i Haji Aini and Muhammad Hamizan Haji Imran. However, 13 riders from Terengganu, Selangor and Johor sprinted off and took the lead 80 kilometers from the fishing line. The Terengganu team won the gold medal after accumulating an overall time of 10 hours, 10 minutes and 27 seconds. The silver medal went to Johor and Selangor won the bronze medal, and Brunei was placed 8th with an accumulated time of 10 hours, 20 minutes and 12 seconds. Seven gold medals were at stake on the second day of the wushu event at Chung Hua School in Padungan, Sarawak. Brunei's Ang Guat Lian took part in the women's Tai Chi Chian category. 15 practitioners took part in the finals of this category. Ang Guat Lian was placed 6th after collecting 9.02 points. Sarawak's participant Audrey Chan Yi won the gold medal on 9.62 points, while the silver medal was won by Malacca's Sydney Chien Yuan. Another Sarawak athlete, Yong Arifa, took the bronze medal. In 10-pin bowling, Brunei's bowlers began their challenge in the men's individual event at Megaland Bowling Centre, E-Mart in Miri. Brunei Darussalam was represented by Abdul Khalidi Yusri Abu Bakar, Awangku Omar Ardi Pengiran Haji Omar Ali, Muhammad Al-Amin Haji Abdul Hamid and Safwan Anwar Sapri. The competition was in a round-robin format. Brunei's Abu Khalidi Yusri scored 1,137 pinfalls and Muhammad Al-Amin Haji Abdul Hamid recorded 1,135 pinfalls. Safwan Anwar 1,022 and Awangku Omar Ardi scored 1,007 pinfalls. Sarawak's participants won the gold and silver medals to Ervin Lim Wai Mun, who scored 1,311 pinfalls, and Abang Afiq Yazid, a bowler from Sabah, won the bronze medal. We will bring the weather forecast next. The general local weather condition for the next 24 hours is expected to be cloudy with occasional showers or thunder showers. Tonight, the weather is expected to be cloudy with scattered showers that can be thundery at times. Sea is light at 0.51 meter high and wind is from southwest at 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. An advisory has been issued where there will be risks of flash floods during continuous heavy downpour, especially over low-lying and flood-prone areas. Tomorrow morning, the weather will still be cloudy with showers mostly along the coastal region. Sea state and wind is similar as tonight's. Therefore, a similar advisory has been issued regarding flash flood at flood-prone areas. In the afternoon, the weather will remain cloudy with showers over inland areas. Sea is still similar as tonight's and wind is from northwest at 10 to 25 kilometers per hour. A similar advisory has also been issued where there will be risks of flash floods during continuous heavy downpour, especially over low-lying and flood-prone areas. Wallahu a'lam bissawab. And now a look at the forecast for Brunei Darussalam for the next 3 days and the weather for some of the main cities around the world. And now a look at the Nisab Zakat rates for cash and property. Moving on to the foreign exchange rates between the Brunei dollars and some of the international and regional currencies. Stay tuned for world news coming up next. The top stories tonight. The ASEAN-China ministerial meeting starts today in Laos, Vientiane. EU said Britain will need months of preparation before Brexit talks can start. The ASEAN-China ministerial meeting opened today in Vientiane, capital of Laos, with foreign ministers from China and ASEAN members discussing opportunities offered by the 25th anniversary of the establishment of China-ASEAN dialogue relationship. Addressing the meeting first, Vivian Balakrishnan, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Singapore, which is the coordinating country of the China-ASEAN relations, said that China and the ASEAN have established extensive cooperation in the past 25 years, and the current meeting is aimed to enhance cooperation and resolve differences. In his address, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said China and ASEAN have both realized their respective goals of sustainable development in the past 25 years, and together they managed to achieve regional cooperation in East Asia. Mr. Wang said China will always support the building of an ASEAN community, insist on ASEAN's core position in regional development, and would work together with ASEAN to maintain regional peace and achieve greater development in the region. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with his North Korean counterpart Ri Yong-ho on the sidelines of the ASEAN ministers' meeting in Vientiane. China, North Korea's only major ally, has been angered by its recent nuclear and missile tests. North Korea has launched a series of missiles in recent months, the latest last week when it fired 3 ballistic missiles that it said was a simulated test of preemptive strikes against South Korean ports and airfields used by the U.S. military. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, which is in Vientiane earlier today, is expected to meet with Mr. Wang. As Weather Systems scripts a plan to meet his North Korean counterpart on the sidelines of the meeting, a U.S. official said there was no plans to do so. EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said Britain will need months of preparation before Brexit talks can start, chiding the government in London for not preparing better for the possibility of a leave vote. Mr. Juncker also confirmed Britain would lose unrestricted access to the internal European Union market if it did not accept free movement of workers. Said his preference would have been for Brexit talks to start as soon as possible. The British Prime Minister Theresa May told Mr. Juncker in mid-July that Britain hoped to hold positive talks with the EU following the result of the 23rd June referendum, but needed time to prepare for the negotiations. Mr. Juncker said there was no deadline since Article 50 of the EU Treaty, which specifies the exit procedures, could only be activated by Britain. He said the EU would not grant tariff-free access to the internal market for UK goods and services if Britain did not accept free movement of the workers from within the EU. Part of the Bavarian town of Ansbach remained sealed off behind a police cordon after a bombing outside a crowded music festival last night. Police continued to watch over the blast site in the small town of 40,000 people southwest of Nuremberg that is also home to a United States Army base. A 27-year-old Syrian man denied asylum in Germany a year ago died when he set off the bomb in a fought violent attack in the country in less than a week. A German official said he was to be deported to Bulgaria. Interior Ministry spokesman Dr. Tobias Plate said Syrians can't be deported directly to Syria because of the situation there. He said he could not say why the deportation of 27-year-old failed asylum seeker didn't happen. Meanwhile, police and forensics workers searched an asylum shelter where a man who blew himself up in Bavaria is believed to have lived. Ansbach Deputy Police Chief Roman Fedinger said there were indications pieces of metal had been added to the explosive device. Police could be seen entering the converted former hotel while the forensics worker examined items on the balcony. Other residents remain in the building. Bavarian Interior Minister Joachim Herrmann said it was unclear if the man, who arrived in Germany 2 years ago and tried to commit suicide twice before, had planned to kill only himself or take others with him into debt. Civilians are being killed and wounded in record numbers in Afghanistan, the United Nations reported just days after one of the deadliest attacks ever in Kabul. Overall, at least 1,601 civilians were killed and 3,565 wounded in the war in the first 6 months of 2016, the United Nations reported, as insurgent groups like the Taliban try to topple the government installed in Kabul of the 2001 US-led military intervention. Casualties caused by pro-government forces increased 47% over the same period last year. Afghanistan forces were responsible for 22% of casualties overall, and international troops remaining in the countries cost 2%, while 17% could not be attributed to one side or the other. For the first time, the Afghanistan Air Force killed or wounded more civilians in its operation than airstrikes carried out by international forces. UN officials say they had heard more commitments by both sides, but few effective actions to improve protection of civilians. Stay tuned to World News. We'll be back after this short break. A 10-year-old boy in Bangladesh who was working at a textile and spinning factory outside the capital Dhaka died yesterday from injuries sustained after air was pumped into his rectum. Local media have said police in Narayangarh believe workers at the factory inserted a high-pressure nozzle into Sagar's barman's rectum and activated it. Investigation into his death are underway, but the family filed a case against 4 people. A suspect was seen being escorted through the factory in handcuffs by Bangladesh Rapid Action Battalion RAB last night. A local resident police officer said the boy was taken for treatment at Dhaka Medical College, where he died. More than 60,000 people were evacuated as heavy rain hit Lingshu County in Xishuangsuang city of North China's Hebei province. The accumulated rainfall reached 200 millimeters in 2 hours, causing the rainwater to pour into a local reservoir at a speed of 2,065 cubic meters per second. The officials informed residents living in 57 villages in various ways to move to safe locations. The floodwater is being discharged at 80 cubic meters per second, with the water around meters deep. The discharge channel had expanded to 200 meters from 20 meters by today morning. No one has been reported dead or injured so far. Meanwhile, police in Yan'an city of northwest China's Shaanxi province rescued 2 men swept away by flood after a rainstorm. The rescuers sent life jackets to the men stranded near a dam spillway and pulled them out of the swollen river with ropes. The 2 men on board a car were washed through a dam spillway after being struck by a torrent pouring down from a mountain. The rescued men suffer minor injuries. A number of floods and landslides have been caused in the region after a heavy rain battered the city on Saturday. More than 1,600 firefighters battled to contain a fast-spreading wildfire that has forced hundreds of evacuations in the drought-parched canyons north of Los Angeles, destroying 18 homes, killing at least 1 person and closing a highway. Authorities said the so-called sand fire had grown to more than 13,300 hectares by today, or more than 130 square kilometers, fueled by high winds and parched conditions after years of drought. It was threatening a string of small communities near Santa Clarita, just outside the Angeles National Forest, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said. A 4,155-hectare fire was also burning in the coastal area of Monterey County, 480 kilometers northwest of Santa Clarita, prompting authorities to widen evacuation orders to several communities on Sunday. One person suffered non-life-threatening injuries and one structure was destroyed. The fire near Santa Clarita, first reported on Friday afternoon, has forced at least 1,500 residents to evacuate their homes and destroyed at least 18 homes. All the affected communities, about 65 kilometers northwest of Los Angeles, are in or around the San Gabriel Mountains, which is dotted with multi-million-dollar homes. About 100 commercial buildings in the path of the fire have been ordered to evacuate. The 14 freeway was closed to traffic because of the fire threat. North Korea opened a zoo and nature museum in Pyongyang yesterday. A video provided to Reuters by the North's official news agency KCNA, which cannot be independently verified, showed North Korean students and officials, including the state premiers Park Bong-hyu and vice chairman of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, Choi Tae-bok, attending the opening ceremony of the Central Zoo and Nature Museum. In the footage, North Korean visitors and foreign guests were seen looking around the museum and the zoo and taking photos. KCNA said the 35,000 square meter nature museum has a space hall, halls for Paleozoic era to Cainozoic era animals and plants, halls, and an e-library. More than 40 sheds were set up for reptiles, monkeys, elephants, giraffes, horses and beasts at the zoo. And finally, let's reflect on the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ on the reward for reading even a letter of the Al-Quranic as narrated as At-Tirmizi. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "One who reads even a syllable or a letter of the Quranic verse will receive 10 times the reward." And that concludes News at 10 for this evening. Thank you for watching and good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.